Good morning, everyone. How's it going? Good morning. Sorry, I'm just sitting down, getting comfortable here. Let me know that you can hear me in the chat. We're going to go ahead and get started here on our private live stream for the Purpose-Driven Trader community. This will be recorded, and I am going to start putting a channel. I'm going to put a channel inside the Discord that's going to have everything recorded so that everybody can go and re-listen to the live stream. So we'll have that. Let me make sure I'm up and running and settings here. In the comments, somebody give me a comment. I know there's only a couple of you, but let me put this in here. Awesome. Good morning, Jeff. Afron, good morning. All right. We will go ahead and get started here. Okay, let's go ahead, open in prayer, and then we will get started here this morning. It's going to be a great stream today. We're going to have a good time. Yeah. So, Father, we just thank you, Father, for your leadership. Thank you for your blessing. Thank you for your hand on our lives, Lord. I just pray that you would direct our steps, Lord, that we would commit ourselves to your will. We would commit ourselves to your leadership. Father, I pray that as we review the charts, as we look at the candlesticks, Father, that you would direct our steps. Father, that they would not be our own, but Father, that they would be from you. Lord, I thank you that you are the author and the finisher of our faith. Father, that we trust in you, that you are our provider, that you provide for all of our needs according to your riches and glory in Christ Jesus. I pray for everyone on this stream and those that will join and those that aren't not here, Father, that you would bless them richly. Father, that they would grow in their knowledge of you, grow in their love for you, Father. We just say and ask this in your mighty name. In Jesus' name, everyone said, amen. Good morning, everyone. I am almost done with the daily affirmation, so I need to finish that up here. So I'm going to do that off screen while we're also taking a look. We will do that daily affirmation for you guys here, and we will get that all done. So we're going to start by taking a look at the higher time frame on the daily chart. We're going to see kind of how the market has reacted here. So we can see that we had our big sell-off on Friday. Here's Monday. And so far on Tuesday, this morning, we wicked into this new daily fair value gap that's sitting right here. We're also we've been respecting this daily inversion fair value gap. I'm going to take off the volume imbalance because that is done. And you can see that the bodies have been respecting that daily imbalance. That's a good point of interest, and that's really what I wanted price to see. We'll see if price wants to sell off from there. Yesterday, I ended up taking a long, I posted it, and I ended up turning it into the 3 p.m. reversal because as the price was going higher, I'm like, oh, dang, we have 230 coming up. So 230 took place, and we had a 1 minute inversion. So I ended up staying in that position, and it ended up playing out actually really nicely. I was in light, so I added to that position. and ended up taking a nice short from there. I'll show you that. I'll show you that trade right here. So we had right here. Here was 231, and then anything after 230, we look for an inversion, and if we get an inversion, we go short. Well, this was that inversion right there. Ended up going short again, or added to from my position that I had down here, because I went short for a breaker, and I'm like, you know what? I bet you we're going to sweep this high, and then we're going to reverse, and then sweep this low. So I added to that position here, and I took that trade down to there. It was a 60 handle. Because I averaged down, it wasn't 60. It was about 50 handles. But that's neither here nor there. Now we are here today. So if we jump up to the 4-hour time frame, or drop down to the 4-hour time frame from the daily, we still have been respecting this. We've respected that daily fair value gap, and we've reacted to that breaker. We went all the way up to the new week opening gap, which overlapped with these levels here. So I like everything so far. We did just tag and fill, for the most part, this opening range gap that we had. That opening range gap, most of it is filled. We have a small portion on the bottom, and then we have the new week opening gap. After this, there's nothing else here. So the question is, are we going to find support here and move higher? I think it's a real possibility. There is really no news that is, besides the China deal, everything else is positive. So I'm wondering how we're going to handle that and how we're going to address that. Because I know Trump doesn't want the market to go down. He wants to do all of it while the market still goes up, you know? He's like, that's why he posted the tweet the following morning. He's like, don't worry about China. They're going to be just fine. After the day before, we're going to stick it to them so badly that they're not going to be able to survive. That's basically what that was the day before. So, with that being said, here's the sell-off we had last night. Let's drop down to the 1 minute to see if we can mark our London high here. AM 2 AM right here. So here's our London high. And London low is right here. We'll go ahead and mark it out. It's already been ran though. And I should probably use the restroom here before the market opens. We'll mark midnight open. Way higher. Oops. And then we're going to mark our opening range gap at 4:15 p.m. So another large opening range gap. We should fill a portion of that. We'll shrink this down to stay over here. I'm going to remove that 4-hour and all of these details in here. Sorry, I gotta get loaded here. I'm not. What's up, John, Corey? How you doing? Good morning, good morning. You know, the last time we did the back testing, our the Discord live stream worked perfectly. I want to do that. I would love to do that again. Ooh, nice, nice, nice. All right, so we're good. We got 5 minutes till the market opens here. As far as lows that we've swept, have we swept anything that I like? What is that black line? What is this black line? That is a sell side liquidity pool. But the market is dipping, dropping. So we've hit 50%. This is what I wanted to see. Okay, so this honestly was the trade I wanted to take right here. We had a retracement to 50% of this giant drop from Friday. We retraced back up to there, went higher, and then from this high, or even higher, from this high to this low, we went 50% of that. So at this point, I'm paying attention to see if we're going to have a continuation lower. That's really the question. Do we have a continuation lower? I anticipate some type of retracement. Again, if we 50% of this leg, there's 50%. We could come up, sweep London high, and then have a continuation lower, filling all this area in here. With the China news, that's really the biggest economic news there is that we can have. The uncertainty could cause prices to go lower. So do we want to see prices jump back to all-time highs? I mean, everybody wants it to. Does everybody think it's going to? There's a lot of uncertainty here, for sure. So we're just going to have to play it very carefully. I'm not opposed to taking the 930 model because we're at the daily fair value gap that we've been finding support in. And we already retraced to 50% of that leg. And we have fair value gaps up here that need to be rebalanced. So I'm on board for the 930 this morning. As long as we don't have any economic news, major news. And then let's check out I'm checking the calendar for today. We have Jerome Powell is speaking at 1:20 today. Other than that, nothing this morning. All right, so 1 minute before market opens here. We have low resistance liquidity here. I like this. I might get in prematurely here.
Order submitted.
So I'm in prematurely for the 930 model. looking for 20 handles. We're going to see if we can sweep these highs right here. That's what I'm going to look for. I'm not a fan of that noise maker. It's annoying, to be honest. All right, here's the opening bell, and it went against us initially. Hold it for 15 seconds, and then we will close that position. $13, $14, $15, closed. All right, so it went against us about 10 handles. It didn't do what I wanted it to do, but rule is hold it for 15 seconds and close it. Don't hold it longer because that candle could expand even lower, and that's what it's doing. Yeah, so I took a 10 handle loss on that. 10 handles is all I took on that, which is not bad. It's not designed to make you rich. It's designed to give you a buffer, but if you take a loss, it was only a buffer, so you're only down a little bit. In this case, it did not play out. I want it, the narrative I have, so my bias is lower. I'm looking for a lower bias based on how prices reacted to this daily fair value gap. However, before I see lower prices, I want to see a retracement. I'd like to see London high, midpoint of the range. If we go to the hourly, you'll see an hourly fair value gap sitting right here, right above London high and a little bit above the midpoint. So there's areas of interest that I want to see tagged before we do that. If we drop aggressively here, I anticipate us coming up here to rebalance it, not just a straight drop. So either way, if I want to go short, I need to see it come up first and then go down. If we're going to drop first, I really would need to see some evidence of us closing lower maybe. If we look at the 15-minute chart, I'd probably need a 15-minute change in state of delivery, which we haven't gotten for a continuation lower. I guess technically it hasn't even given us change in state of delivery the other direction, so it could continue lower here. From a 5-minute perspective, we have a 5-minute fair value gap down here right at the high of the new week opening gap, which we could see a bounce in for sure. But right off the open, it's consolidated here. We have a 930 fair value gap, but nothing else after that. I'm going to pull off my screen here, my execution screen, and I'm going to finish my daily affirmation that I need to finish. All y'all quiet this morning. All y'all are quiet. All right, so we have our first presented fair value gap right here. We're going to mark that. First presented. Here's that 5 minute. I anticipate because of this swing low right here, price is going to find support right here. That's what I want to see. That's what I anticipate. Price finding some type of support here. We'll see if it wants to hold it right there or not. What else do we have left? To the left. Yeah, I mean, we could, if it's going to drop, it could absolutely keep just dropping to the floor here, but we'll see. The 5 minute has 3 minutes left on it. Looks heavy. Big opening range gap. You know, I know it's huge. The question is are we going to go straight into that? Are we going to have some type of reaction here? That's what I don't know. This kind of reaction, that's what I'm wondering if, are we going to hold it? Or are we going to push back up into this 5 minute? How are we going to close on that 5 minute? We got 11 seconds. So it looks like it's going to be a little lower. We'll see if it wants to continue lower, if it's going to keep going higher. Rebalance here. Looked again, gap below and above is crazy. All of it's huge. Honestly, before we go lower, I really would like it to go higher, but that's really what I'm waiting for here, is if we're going to do that or not. Whoops. I don't know if I want to take that. We're just going to sit on our hands, be patient here. All right, let's finish this. I don't want to miss this, but I think we might. Where is that at? All right, so the volume imbalance is now filled here from this day here. We still have a lot of room lower to fill as far as the new week opening gap, if we're going to fill that. I mean, you're welcome to take scalp trades lower if you want. I just don't know if I'm interested in that because I don't know what its target is in something in this big void. There's a order block right here, a fair value gap. It's not a bad place to find if you think we're going to go lower. This is where you would want to test it. But I'm not interested in that. These conditions are about as hard as all-time highs. Yeah. Got a 2-minute single fair value gap, but I don't like it. We tag that. I think that could be a place for it to go. It could go lower from here, to be honest. Ten 9:47. We're in the 10 a.m. macro. I will look at taking this. If it gives me that, I might take that short. If it gives me an inversion to the downside. But if it finds support in it, reacts right on the midpoint, that might be a sign for higher prices. This is the hard part on these conditions. They're not very fun to play off of. Looks like it wants to push through this level here. Beautiful breaker on the 4-hour. But that move has passed us. Yeah, it's a lot of sitting right now because the uncertainty on if it's going to go higher or lower right here. I like that. We have a breaker here to the upside if it wants to continue that way. Back to the first presented fair value gap. The hardest part is knowing how far down it wants to go. We found some consolidation right here. order block, displacement lower. We can count this as an order block right here. So this 15-minute, these two 15-minute candles can be an order block. So far, it's acting as a 15-minute order block. $24,157. The next draw on liquidity. I don't know. That's my honest answer is I don't know. Because it could find support here and start running for this London high. It wouldn't surprise me if it does that. It's found support in this fair value gap right here. We haven't made a new order block, or we haven't made a breaker yet on the 1 minute. The 5 minute, we have a long ways to go for anything. And it's wanting to displace higher here, so evidence would say consider a breaker long right here. All right, we closed above this inversion. Did we? We closed just inside it. I'd say that's a very bullish signal. This is going long. I mean, that's just, to me, this was now trying to get everybody to go short, and this aggressive price action here is signaling higher prices. Is it going to go to London high? You could take a long from the inversion. You could wait for the retracement down to the breaker. You could take a position here. You need to look for your own confirmation. I'm going to look for support inside here and see if we have a long opportunity. I'm going to take a small position. I'm not interested in taking a major loss if it just wants to continue to roll lower. But I have my breaker. It did find support. We had displacement. I'm willing to take a stab based on this. I just don't want to risk a ton, to be honest with you. $9 o'clock, or excuse me, 10 o'clock right now. See if it wants to react higher here. Ooh. Pretty far away. This is where I'd want to see it expand higher right here through the first presented fair value gap. I'd want it to see it close above it specifically, not just wicks. If we get the wicks, then it's not as aggressive or right away as I wanted it. Let's look at ES here. ES1, ESZ, 2025. Based on the trend, though, you have a better shot of going short from right here, right? We just want to see if it's going to continue higher. So taking a long here isn't as attractive as taking a long right here into this to see if we have enough to break through these. So that's the risk of like taking a position or taking a long from that first fair value gap. What is the 4 hour? 4 hour closed bearish still. Closed below. We have to anticipate lower prices from a 4 hour perspective. From an hourly perspective, we did not close below this green closed candle here. We did reach lower but closed inside the range. There's a lot of uncertainty here on the direction. I'd feel more comfortable taking a short after we push higher. Feel more comfortable taking a long, not right at the top of this range. Right in here. Got a 1 minute fair value gap over there. Just for how much we're moving, it's hard to, yeah, look at that. There it goes. What do you guys think? Honestly, I'm torn, and when I'm torn, it's safer for me to stay out and not allow my emotions to get involved. I like that idea. I just in my mind I'm hearing second guessing, and when I hear that, I just don't want to mess around. When in doubt, stay out. I think I have. Hang on. I mean, it's honestly a great spot for a long. It really is. And breaking through this level would probably mean we're hitting the London high. What I would love to see, and I know this goes against what you got, Ryan, but I would love to see this aggressive and then an inversion to the upside. That's what I'd love to see. ES ran the highs. It's high right here. NQ didn't. So you have an SMT there. Low resistance liquidity for it right here. So ES is showing higher prices. I'll take a little long from this support level on the first presented fair value gap. Let's see if that holds. Oh, you guys can't see it here. All right, so I'm going to take a small long. If this first presented fair value gap holds, if it closes, then I will get out. We still have a untagged fair value gap at 930. I guess it was tagged with that volume imbalance. To me, this is lower risk because our risk is 14 handles. We're in a trend higher. We found support on the first presented fair value gap. We broke through it, found support in this fair value gap. To me, this is lower risk. High risk in the conditions we're in, but as far as where we think price could go, I think we have a shot of sweeping these highs and potentially running for that London high. So we'll see how it finds support, but we are in a trade. And I'm going to move my stop to break even at this point. So stops at break even. I don't want to see it come back down at this point. I want it to aggressively move through these levels. If it comes back down and tags me out, then I'm glad I'm out of the position. Up 30 points. This is where we want it to punch through. We want it to be very aggressive right here. For everybody that was going short right here, there's a bunch of stops right here. This is what I want it to go aggressive through that. Make a new high for me. Come on. I'm going to close it. I'll take 30 points in this volatility. If it comes down and retests it, I might do it again. I really wanted it to push through that fair value gap, and the lack of pushing through that fair value gap, I just right now don't want to mess with it. So got a 30-point win on that. That recovered that first trade's loss, the inversion, or excuse me, the 930 model. Thinking of that trade, I think because of my size and trying to capitalize on the move, my size probably got me out a little early. I probably could have held that and just let it run. But I wanted to recover that loss, and it put me green as far as those two trades go. Yeah, this could really pop right here. Let's see if it pops right above that. Let's see if it gives it to me. I'll go back in that position where it was. Yeah, it's still not giving me that close. Yeah, I'm not going to mess around with it. I like being where I'm at right now. I'm going to sit and wait. I feel like this is a I'm not a breakout artist, and that's what I felt like I was doing right there, is trying to play the breakout. We played the retracement. I'd rather take the trades on the retracement. I feel way more comfortable taking those types of trades. So yeah, I only see Powell as well. Hang on, I need to see if my... There we go. All right, let's finish that. We are so there's the pop. All right, so I have our daily affirmation that we're going to do here. Let me jump to our daily affirmation. All right, daily affirmation for the 14th of October. This is based on 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. God has not given me a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. I believe profitability is possible for me, and I walk in confidence, discipline, and faith. Here's the thing. God gave you a spirit of love, of power, and a sound mind. So any fear that you experience, that you're seeing, whether in a trade, that's not of the Lord. So when that is presented, we have to have something to replace that, because the enemy is not kind. The enemy is not polite. The enemy is intrusive. The enemy is going to bombard you with his voice. I don't like doing this comparison, but it's a great visual. When you think of your kids that are nagging you, they aren't polite about it. They just keep going. Dad, I need this. Mom, I want this. Mom, can I have that? Mom, can I have this? Mom, can I do this? Please, can I keep going? Can I want this? It's unrelenting. Now, that's because they just haven't learned the right way of doing it. But the enemy does it intentionally. The enemy wants to cloud your judgment with his voice. He wants to destroy you by you second-guessing yourself, you being indecisive. So for me, when it comes to trading, if I have a gut check, if I'm feeling fear, I'm not going to participate. I'm not going to then, the fear of missing out. I'm not going to jump in because I'm missing out. I have a spirit of love, power, and a sound mind. That is the spirit the Lord gave us. So I choose to walk with confidence. If I don't have that in a trade, I'm going to respect that. I'm going to walk in discipline. I took a trade here just a second ago because I'm like, let's see what happens. And then I'm getting this gut check and I'm like, no, I can't do that. That happens all the time. That happens all the time, and I have to make sure that the right voice is leading me. And then walking in faith. Walking in faith. Believing that it's possible. And look at that bad boy go. It's moving. So we got a 30-point trade out of it. I'm okay with that. I think I could have been a little bit better on it. Here's where I thought that we could go long, was right here. And it never retraced into it. So sometimes in these aggressive responses, taking it on the break is your only option. Taking it on the break. We had too much right above it. We had the new week opening gap high and a 5-minute fair value gap that price dipped into before moving higher. I think we're probably going to keep going here. Your best option is probably to take a fair value gap entry. There was one here. We may not get one as it runs here, but if you want to participate, that's how I would enter. I'm sitting out right now. I'm not going to chase. No, it didn't. It did not barcode between 10:15 and 10:45. It ran. To be honest with you, this right here was very difficult to read. I probably got more confidence right on this break right here. That is where I probably gained my confidence. Then we did this back and forth. I'm like, I'm not going to trade butting up to that first presented fair value gap. The break, now I'm like, well, that's too high. So this to me was honestly the only logical entry that I could take was inside this first presented fair value gap on the retracement. I'm glad we got it. It to me was the safest option. We could have dropped all the way back down here, but I'm like, this, I mean, if there's a spot that it could hold and just rip higher, it'd be here. This fair value gap here is what caused my hesitation and ended up closing at 30 handles, because if you continue to look at the trend, we were making lower highs consistently. And that was my concern, that it could also be another lower high, retrace, down to however far it wants, and then keep going. Ultimately, it didn't. And it is now continuing to push higher. Very aggressively, in fact. So good win. I'm not complaining on it. There's always lessons that you can learn. Did it give us a fair value gap entry? Oh, for those that were trying to get the entries, there's your tiny fair value gap entry right there. I didn't see it 3 minutes ago. Slip, shlabam. ES has already ran its London high. So it makes sense we're getting a retracement right now, or we're getting resistance. There's London high for ES. Here's the thing, anything for the 11, I would not be waiting for the 11 a.m. macro. I think the 11 a.m. macro is going to be consolidation. And we might consolidate from there for the rest of the morning till maybe noon, maybe 1 or 2. Either way, the move happened from 9:30 to 10:30. That was the move. It wasn't the best as far as identifying key levels. Key levels were honestly a little difficult to identify. Sell side liquidity. And then the 15-minute order block was our other one. Mark that on here. I want to see what that looks like. Yeah, 15-minute order block looked good on there. 50. ES looked way cleaner. ES looked really good, to be honest with you. Had a 1-minute inversion right off that sweep. Sell side liquidity. NQ's sell side liquidity was much higher. It did not dip into this fair value gap, but I bet you it dipped into a 5-minute. Yeah, see how it dipped into this 5-minute right here? All right, if we wick into this breaker, still respecting this 1-minute fair value gap, I may look at another long towards London high. What are the odds of 24,749? I think that's the target. That's what I'd be reaching for. What is this high here? 317. Small inversion right there. Take care, John. Yeah, that looks nice. See if we can hold this inversion. Making equal highs on ES. Let's see if we can push through that. Made equal highs on NQ. A tiny sweep of liquidity as well. There we go. I think it could go all the way up to the midpoint of the opening range gap, midpoint over here. Let's drop this all the way down here. Let's see what that comes out to be. That's the midpoint. We already hit the midpoint of that drop, so we'll see if it wants to hit London high. Really close. I like this here. Order block set, reaction from it. I want to see this be a proportion block higher right here. This down close candle inside this down close candle with the target right here. I want to see this now push higher. Is anybody in this trade trying to go for London high? Way to go, Ryan. Way to hold. I don't really see any evidence for it dropping, but these indecisive candles can really rip you up on the inside. And then all of a sudden it just goes kaboom! Either way, one way or the other, it does it. You know? How many points are you up? Ryan? On this specific trade. Well, I think we should hit it here. We're about at the 15-minute macro. Sorry, I like leaning into the chart sometime. Like this. Get closer to the candlesticks. Makes them move better. It's holding. This is holding. That's what we want to see. Is this order block holding? And in my opinion, last line of defense is that fair value gap there. There we go. There you go. All right, so it's 15. There, here we should get it right here. I think it should happen right here. Don't be messing with them. I don't like this candle. I don't. It is screaming. I want to leave liquidity right here. Yeah, I came within 5 ticks. 5 ticks of it. Probably a good call, Ryan. Probably a good call. Well, I just kind of waiting to see if it actually wants to hit this level here. Feeling blessed. Yeah, I just, today wasn't easy. The nice inversion down here, got my trade for the day. Happy about that. Now it's just kind of letting to see if we're going to hit this level, and then I'm probably going to be done for today, and then I'll probably do some back testing here later. Maybe we'll do it live. Maybe we'll do it another day. But my goal is to do it every day. So $10.50. It's finally starting to get colder here. A little colder. I wonder if it could do one of these here. Maybe not. Yesterday was actually a great hunting day. I ended up not shooting anything, even though I could have shot 2. One was a little young buck, and the other doe had a baby with it, and it got me. It got me. I chose not to shoot it because I didn't want to shoot the mommy. And there was I was indecisive on if I was going to shoot a buck or I was going to shoot a doe, and by the time I decided, you know what, I'm going to shoot the doe, it wasn't in range, and there was some tree limbs in the way. By the time I decided, it was another doe came in, and I was like, all right, I'm going to shoot this one. And I didn't get a clear shot. It was behind some trees and stuff like that, so I ended up not taking the shot. Well, I think it's not going to be going that direction, so we're going to call it a day here. We'll be back tomorrow, ready to rock and roll, so we'll see you guys all there. Have a blessed day today. Stay safe, and we'll see you all tomorrow, okay? God bless.